Hi, my name is Bethany, and today is episode 3 of the library, where we are discussing Thanksgiving holiday books. And I love this subject because, to me, there is nothing more enriching for the holidays, any holiday, than incorporating books. And children of all ages love to be read aloud to. And that does not matter if they're babies or toddlers or elementary age or middle school or high school. Even adults like to be read aloud to. And so today, I thought I would talk to you guys about Thanksgiving books. There's so many magical elements to the Thanksgiving holiday. I understand that some people don't like to celebrate Thanksgiving, and to each his own. But I like Thanksgiving. And I like Thanksgiving for a couple different reasons. I love incorporating the traditions with my children. I love a traditional Thanksgiving meal. And I really love and look forward to watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So I like to have books that reflect those things. Historically, if you decide that you don't want to celebrate Thanksgiving, or you want to educate your children on what the origin of Thanksgiving on a historical level, you could definitely do that. That's up to you. Here's some of the books that I have that you can kind of begin that conversation with them. Thanksgiving is about family and connection and bringing people together. So do with that as you will. Honorable mention, this is just honorable mention, is Louisa May Alcott of Little Women has an old-fashioned Thanksgiving book, which is just charming. Okay. So if you want to go the historic route, here are some books that you can do. These are all picture books, by the way. Let's see. The Ox Cart, The First Thanksgiving, Gail Gibbons. If you're not familiar with Gail Gibbons, she has written probably over 30 books on all different types of subjects: weather, holidays, history, science, whatever. And so she just writes in a very simplistic way. But kids probably will like the vibrant colors. We just use this as a reference. This is The Feast. I like getting books that talk about the historical side of things. However, I also think the illustrations mean quite a bit. So when I'm looking at books, I'm looking for books that are less dry technically, historically, but that are very pretty to look at, that you want to just kind of sit and soak in the art, because this is art. Okay, and then I also like knowing, at some point, Thanksgiving became a national holiday. And so this story, thank you, Sarah, is all about the woman who made Thanksgiving Day an actual national holiday. It says the woman who saved Thanksgiving. The illustrations are beautiful. Look at the back. It's just so funny to see Abraham Lincoln with football. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. So if you want to go the historical route, there you go. There are some options for you. You're going to hear them plop on the ground. It has to happen. I don't have a lot of space. Okay. Because I love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which has a rich history all of its own and is so unique, and there is nothing like the balloons. Oh my gosh. Just the balloon, like how they design and set up the balloons, and that entire thing is just so fascinating to me. I had the privilege a long time ago of going and watching the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade in person. And one day I hope to take my children to it, because I just think it's such an iconic part of American history. I really do think that. I think for American football, there is, or American Thanksgiving, there is football, which is a lot of people base their entire Thanksgiving meal around football. More power to them. And there's family traditions, and there's food that you eat, and the whole thing. But I love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So I like waking up really early in general, but especially on Thanksgiving, so I can start cooking, but also so I can watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There is nothing like a cup of coffee and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There's nothing. I'm sorry, there's nothing. Okay, but here are two books about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade that I love. This one is called Millie and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And it just kind of talks about the rich history of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, which is just beautiful. Look at the color scheme. It's so lovely. Oh my gosh. But this one was written and illustrated by a Caldecott honor winner. Her name is Melissa Sweet. If you're not familiar with her work, you should. She's amazing. Her art is so layered, and she does like a collage. Hopefully you can see that, like a collage. Her actual system is like, there's so many different actual layers, and it's smooth here, but her art in real life is layered. Do you see the layers of that? Lovely. I love this. This is talking about the history of the Macy's. Balloons Over Broadway, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Iconic. One of my favorite things to share. And so she really goes into like the history of it, how they established the balloons the way that they are. If you never looked up the history of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, you should do it. It's kind of funny. There's some really funny parts, and these books do a good job of like bringing in the nostalgic of such a rich, fun thing that we get to watch. And for a lot of families in New York City and around that area, going to the parade, going the night before to see the balloons, is just as much a part of their Thanksgiving Day or Thanksgiving tradition as it is for us across the country to watch it on TV. It's amazing. Okay. Speaking of beautiful, this beautiful illustrations, Thanksgiving in the Woods. Oh my gosh, the art just, who is this illustrated by? Jenny Lovely? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I love illustrations. An author does so much good for a book, obviously, but the illustrator brings it to life, and it's just so beautiful. Look at this. That's just how you want it to be, right? Sometimes it's important to remember that everyone celebrates Thanksgiving different. And that's because we have a beautifully diverse country and rich history and different cultures and backgrounds. And so I have this book called Duck for Turkey Day, which really explores how different cultures celebrate Thanksgiving. And it's really lovely, and I like it a lot. Also, in episode 2, I mentioned that I went to a lot of thrift stores and I bought books. And when I look at this is an old library book, and I still have the tape on it. Isn't that so fun? So, beloved books, where I told you I bought them from thrift stores. I love them. Okay, let's go on some funny let's talk about some funny books. A lot of times your kid's favorite book or their favorite character in a book has a holiday equivalent, which is really fun. So I collected some of my Thanksgiving books that also have different equivalents outside of Thanksgiving, right? So this one is the poem There was an old lady who swallowed a fly. Well, they have like a Halloween option, and then there was an old lady who swallowed a turkey. So funny. So you can get those. This is a series of, sometimes they're out of stock, so you might have to go search for them. Maybe your local bookstore has them. But the Cranberry Thanksgiving series is, so there's Cranberry Christmas, Cranberry Halloween, and Cranberry Thanksgiving. And when I checked Amazon the other day, this one was sold out, but check with your local bookstore. Maybe they will have it. Maybe your library has it. Maybe the library has the trio. Really fun stories. Same characters. Oh. But just really, like, this is a read aloud book. Like, you're going to read and you're going to really dive into the story, and it's very sweet and it's super fun, and I highly recommend it. So these are some fun ones. Like, if you just want to keep the characters going, there are options for you. You can get this series is How to Catch a Turkey, or How to Catch an Elf, or How to Catch a Snowman. And they have different variations of these books, right? You can get about, I see them at Target all the time. So you can get them at Target. But is it absolute chaos? Yes, it is. But if you read it aloud, well, which means when you're reading this story aloud, you wouldn't just sort of slid into the coach's room and crashed into a chair. That's so boring. Like, instead, it should be, slid into the coach's room, crashed into a chair, got tangled up in jerseys, but I won't get stuck in there. If you read it with excitement and you emphasize the right words, oh my gosh, you will have everyone in the room, even the adults, hooked. I promise you. Okay, so Mother Bruce is this hilarious book about this grumpy bear who he accidentally gets these eggs and they hatch. And because the first thing that they see is becomes their mother. That's how it works with baby birds and ducklings and all of that. Bruce becomes Mother Goose. Mother Bruce. And so you get to travel through this story of Bruce raising his geese. Okay. But they have created a whole series of books of Mother Bruce, which are so fun. And they have a Thanksgiving option, which is called Thanks for Nothing. And it's just so funny to watch Bruce's adventure because he's consistently grouchy. He's consistently grumpy. But I think he has a heart of gold. We can say that about a lot of people, right? They have a heart of gold. So, my favorite book of all of them, though, is this one. So I've saved the best for last. So if you make it to the end, great. I'm glad you're here because you're about to see the best book of all of my Thanksgiving books. This is my favorite. This is my children's favorite. This is my favorite. We read this book all the time. We reference this book all the time, which is The Great Thanksgiving Escape. And I don't know if there is a Thanksgiving book that everyone can relate to more than this one. Honestly, this book is so funny. These are cousins, and they are at a family Thanksgiving, and we've all been there. And they travel through so many hilarious things. Okay, hold on, let me get it real funny. Where, the door, someone's knocking at the door and they're scared and they have to run. And you just see these two cousins go through all the adventures. You were either these cousins, or you are raising these cousins, or you have encountered some variation. The Hall of Aunts. We all know. We've all been there. Anyways, this book is fantastic. It is my favorite. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope I have so much to be thankful for. I'd love to know what you have to be thankful for. Let's celebrate Thanksgiving.